Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to episode 8 of Credit 101, where we will be talking about the things that's inside your credit reports. So, when you guys get your credit reports, you have to understand that there's a lot of information that's in your credit reports, and we need to really know what accounts are listed, why are there so many accounts, and then how long these accounts are going to stay on your credit reports. So, let's get right on into it. If you guys have questions, drop them down below in the comments. Now, the first thing is you guys are going to have personal information on your credit reports. Now, when I say personal information, I mean like your name, your address, those different things that's listed on your credit reports. Now, I have an example here that I always use to show clients, and I usually show this example because I need people to remove old personal information from their credit reports so that they can get some accounts deleted if they have to do that. So, if you can see right here, the first thing is they'll show your credit report date. And remember, you have three main credit bureaus, which we're looking at this from Identity IQ. This is what it looked like on Identity IQ. Each bureau, each company you get your credit reports from, the layout is going to be different. This is what it looked like on Identity IQ. So they're going to tell you the date that you got that credit report. Then they'll have your name listed there. They'll also have like the also known as. You'll see some information may be there. Say maybe if you was married before, or if you use a different name, or if they even have a different name on there, they'll have it on there. And you can also see that in former name also. And then your date of birth will be listed there. Now, sometimes some bureau will only have your year, but since this is someone's information, I cannot show you exactly what it looked like, but sometimes they'll just have your year. You can see for Experian, I only covered up a small amount. They only had the year, but the other two bureaus had the full date of birth. And also the addresses, your current address. They'll have the current address that you're staying at right now as what's reported. They may not have your current address, but it's what's reported. When you apply for a credit card, we'll talk about inquiries. That's when an address will be added to your credit report. But whatever current address they think you're staying at, they have that there. Previous addresses, they keep every address on your credit report. They don't plan to delete these addresses, you guys. It's us that go in there and work to remove those different addresses. But the previous addresses are addresses that you once had as your current address, but once you get a new address that's your current, those previous address, the address that was once current is going to turn into your previous address. So you see those previous addresses there. They're also going to have your employers and also your current employer and your previous employer. So they'll have that information there. If you guys have any type of consumer comments, you guys will also see that information there. Now, usually consumer comments are when you will say, hey, I was in I had marriage went bad, and that's why you see these bad accounts. You come with excuse basically on why your accounts are negative. They can read that when they get your credit report. So that's what the consumer comment is. Hey, I once had fraud. You'll see that as one of the things that's on there for the consumer comments. But personal information, that is something that is going to be on your credit reports, and you guys need to know what personal information is out there for you, because sometimes you'll see other people's names and things like that, and you can see that your file has been merged with someone else's, which we are going to talk about later. Or sometimes you'll see identity theft. You need to have this information to make sure it's correct so that identity theft is not happening to you, which we are going to go over later also. Now, your accounts are reported monthly. Usually they have a set date that they report to the credit bureaus for you. I have a set sample credit report here. So let's actually look at that credit report. I just want to show you like the date that is really being reported. So if I zoom in some, this is an actual account. Say they right here, it says the date that it was last reported. Okay, so usually they're going to report on the same day. This one is bad because this company here is not reporting correctly. So, but you'll see the last day that they reported to each bureau. This is Experian. I think this is TransUnion, and this is Equifax. You'll see the date that they reported. Let's look at another example. So that's a bad example. They have different dates that they reported. Oh, this is a good example. The date is they reported on the 1st. So August 1st, 2019. This is a very older report. So you can see on the 1st, they're usually going to be reporting. So they report monthly, and they usually report on the same date every month. So you can count on them to report again September 1st, November, December, like that, October 1st. You can count on them to report on that same exact month, because that's normally what they do, because they report monthly, you guys. Now, accounts will be reported when they are in default. So say if you have a new account that maybe you had a collection, or you have a charge off on your credit report, you had a credit card with Capital One. When it becomes in default, they're going to report that it is in default. You have not been paying on it. And when they sell it to a collection agency, that account will be reported. So that will be a new account on your credit reports. So you will see that that account is reported. And then also public records. Public records, they cannot report tax liens or anything like that anymore. It was a law that stopped that. But what they can report is bankruptcy. So you guys will see bankruptcies being reported onto your credit reports. Also, inquiries. When you guys apply for credit cards, when you complete an application, you're going to get a hard inquiry. So you're going to see those inquiries listed on your credit reports. And we're going to go over that full credit report in episode 9. So if you want like a full breakdown of it, then definitely check it out. We're just talking about the different things that's on your credit reports for this episode. Now, accounts to stay on your credit reports for a different amount of time. Now, in your inquiries, they usually stay on your credit report for a year and a half or 2 years. If you guys have collections, charge-offs, those different type of accounts, they're going to stay on your credit reports for 7.5 years. And your bankruptcies are going to stay on there for 10 years. Now, remember, this is the standard on how long it's going to stay on there. You guys always can dispute accounts and get these accounts removed from your credit reports, especially if they're inaccurate. Like I just showed you that account, so many different things they're not reporting correctly. You can get these different accounts removed and you don't have to wait the 7.5 years or the 10 years for a certain account to come off. But that's how long it's usually on your credit reports. Now, some information is not included on your credit reports, like such as things about your race, your religion, any type of medical history that's not on this credit report. I talked about the third party bureaus that may have some of this information, but the main 3 credit bureaus, they don't have this information. Also, things about your lifestyle, your political preference, they don't have that on there either. Or anything that's like really personally related, that's personal about you, that's not really related to credit, is not going to be on there. So understand that. And also, if you guys are married, information like your spouse's account, unless you guys have a joint account, it should not be on your credit reports. It should not. Only things that you apply for, that you agree to be on the account for, say if you guys had a joint car auto loan, then that will be on your credit reports. If your spouse have a credit card and you're not on their credit card, it should not be on your credit report unless you become an authorized user on that credit card. Other than that, it should not be on your credit reports. Okay, so keep that in mind. So only your information should be on your credit reports. If you guys were to see some information that's not on your credit, that's not yours, and it's on your credit reports, please get this information off. I remember I had a client that had a negative. It wasn't negative, it was positive first. They had a credit card that was positive. It wasn't really theirs, but it was reporting to their credit report and it was helping them. And it ended up going bad. And then it was like, oh my gosh, Rickita, now I got to remove it. And they was like, you know what? Let's keep it on there when it was positive. But when it went bad, it was like, let's take it off. And that can happen at any time. Accounts could go bad. So definitely make sure you guys don't keep this information on your credit reports. Now, creditors, they have an automated system where they report this information to the credit bureaus, and we're going to talk about that also. They have a system where they're going to report it, and we want to get into like Metro 2 compliance, all of that, because it's a system that's reporting this information. That's why it's getting reported on a monthly basis, and sometimes they have errors within that system, which is why different things are being reported to your credit report that should not be there. But these are the different things that's on your credit reports. Let's watch episode 9 to talk about and going into depth about these different accounts and see what they actually look like when they're on your credit reports. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'll see you in episode 9.